Alright, here's an unboxing, or rather I guess an unpackaging of the AOS 3.5 from Chris Rosser and CNC Madness, or CNC Drones. The packaging is a bit of a letdown, but at the end of the day I'd rather pay for the product rather than the packaging, so it comes in this mailer envelope. Let's open it up, see what's inside. Some packaging paperwork, and that, and there's the frame. That's all there is to it. Nothing else in there. So, typical stuff. I see the arms, top plate, bottom plate, bunch of hardware, some cross braces. The build is going to follow because I'm not quite sure what to do with all these extra small bits here, the cross braces and whatnot. There's a carbon mount, or sorry, a carbon camera mount I should say, rather than having to print one out of TPU or whatever. I believe that's going to be the bottom plate. Should be the top plate with the AOS logo in it. Of course, the arms, the two-piece design, so to speak. Nice and thick, still light though. The actual arms are pretty narrow. I think the idea is to get them as close to square as possible. One thing I really like about the design of this frame is these two motor protection piece of carbon here. I don't know what you'd actually call them, but a lot of frames just have one piece sort of sticking out the middle, so depending on the angle that you hit something, you can still get your motor bell and bend it. And I have done that with my other sub 250 frames. So these are little bits I'm not too sure about. There's these two cross braces. I'll have to take a look at a build, and there's an X piece. I'm assuming that's for the arms, and then of course your camera mount made out of carbon. Mega hardware, so standoffs, and of course your typical screws. I believe this was supposed to come with motor screws as well, probably to account for the arm thickness. I think a lot of the micro motors, the 1404s and such, probably don't come with screws that are long enough to account for that arm thickness, because a lot of the sub 250 gram frames have a lot thinner arms. Anyways, let's get to throwing it together. Alright, the frame's complete, so I'll leave you with some final thoughts. The only problem I had assembling this was the size of the top plate bolts. They use a really small Allen key. I think it's a 1.3 millimeter. I used the smallest Allen key I had in an Imperial set, and it fit nice and snug, probably as good as the metric Allen key. So if you're running that problem, you might be able to do the same. As long as you're careful, you shouldn't strip it out. Frame itself is super simple, super easy build. All the standoffs are the same length, which I like. A couple of the little features that I really like about it: I like the flight controller being in the front. VTX, Vista, whatever you're going to use goes in the back. This space in the middle is sort of empty, so capacitor can go there instead of sticking out the side like I've done on my other micros. I really like that. I like the fact that if you're running an all-in-one, or a 20x20 for that matter, you can get at all the bolts for the flight controller from the bottom. I do believe the rearward one here is going to require a ball end Allen key, but at least you can get at it. That was a bit of a bone of contention for me with the Apex, or the Micro Apex I should say. So I don't think I need to get into the stiffness of the frame, vibrations, any sort of analysis of any of that. I mean, Chris Rosser's crossed all that off, and he's way smarter than I am. So if there's any problem with the way this build flies when I'm done with it, I'm going to assume that it's something to do with my equipment or something to do with me. I think that's probably a safe bet. I don't think there's much more to say. I mean, I noticed the carbon fiber is aligned on the angled arms that go towards the center of the quad rather than the arms that are perpendicular to the frame. I'm sure that's done by design and not by accident, but I can't speak to that too much. So yeah, hopefully I'll follow up this shortly with a build video, get all my components in it, and see how it flies. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.